on, sir. Don't fuck it up. Move!
Ring, 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 hello, priest, and welcome back to Krown's Magical Drip Cave!
Well, welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. Apologies for the very sluggish intro right there, as Elsa's slacking today. She doesn't know what the fuck's going on, because she's getting locked into a closet too often right now. Anyways, with that said, I would like to wish you the best in the haps, because we got plenty to discuss today, because we got a big old event, right? The event that is going to pump all the hopium back into this market, right? Kathy Woods, please help. Mr. Jack Dorsey, please pump my bags. And Elon Musk, if you could also help out with a few bucks as well, that would be excellent. Anyways, with that said, let's now focus on the Krown Chain application, which you found at app.krownchain.net. We'll actually swing back to that event a little bit later, because I do want to talk a little bit about event psychology as we head into this and what to kind of be looking out for, as we actually do still have that potential trappy situation that we spoke about over the past 2 days. Still very much available for Bitcoin here. So with that said, I do suspect that today, Wednesday, is going to be a big day, as it typically is, actually. If you go through a statistical narrative of all of, like, the last, I did a study on, like, the last 2 to 3 years, Wednesdays and actually Thursdays have the most probability to put in, you know, a decent move, so to speak. Anyways, with that said, into the Krown Chain application we go, which can be found at app.krownchain.net. We had a recent addition to it, actually 2 nights ago, that is. So there's more quant information there. We have the most free information on the whole goddamn internets that I'm aware of, and if we don't, well, we're just gonna add more. So it's only a matter of time, sirs and zers. Anyways, fear and greed index at a 19 right now, of which you would expect. I mean, as Bitcoin did essentially break the $30,000 level yesterday. And actually even closed below there too, which is rather important, actually. Bitcoin dominance still trending up as well. So no matter what happens here, Bitcoin's going to be losing versus altcoin pairings there. We'll actually check it on that chart soon enough here too, because we do have that in the market data tab. And oh, there he is. Oh, there he fucking is, man. Scott Carney, as always, with the ALYIEM, and we can get to that in a bit here. But I'm going to turn off the alerts for right now, and let's go into the market data tab, see what we got going on right here. And what is this? Yes, we do still see global negative funding rates across the board. Now, it's not like too aggressively negative, but it is negative nonetheless, and has more importantly been negative amongst the majority of the past 2.5 months now. So shorts have been essentially bleeding, with not really getting a whole hell of a lot of major price action in their way. I mean, max pain for this market right now more or less is sideways, if anything. Sideways, sideways at these levels, not giving anyone the big volatile move, so to speak. Anyways, on top of that, we also do see that the global leverage ratio is actually starting to really head up, even higher than what we saw in April 16th, that is, which was coming in at the top side of our current, basically the current all-time high. I'm buckish. Nice, man. I've never heard that. Oh, you're world champions. Hey, congratulations to Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks over there. Pretty fucking impressive stuff, man. I watched a little bit of highlights. Not a huge basketball fan myself, but man, I am a fan of just humongously impressive athletics, and man, that guy is fucking special. Holy shit. Anyways, we also see global exchanges net flow is showing another negative number as well. This is the biggest negative number that we've seen it in about a month here, or a little bit under a month, actually, going back to June. Now, again, it's not anything too crazy, but it does suggest that people are taking their coins off of exchange, which would imply a little bit of hodling going on, which we'll actually maybe further verify in a second here. Also, open interest still starting to creep up as well. We are really fucking close right there, but we did not see a break of the $30,000 level, plus open interest shooting up above that $5 billion level, which I'd really like to see in order to have a more concerted and sustained downside move. So I still do think that the potential for a trap within this region is very much there, but still, price action needs to do a few more things. I would not consider this a trap in its current format right now, to be abundantly clear. Let's go over here to page number 4. This is all the new stuff as of right now. We have now charts for the GBTC holdings, of which this has been pretty much steady ever since Bitcoin pretty much put in the highs, which I want to keep a keen eye on as we go onwards and forwards from here. That is probably the easiest way for, more or less professionals, who are managing like big funds to get their exposure to Bitcoin. I mean, they can also trade Coinbase as well, but this is going to be a little bit more direct, if you will. Hash rate also starting to actually dropping once again, which is rather interesting right there. Actually, that's a little bit concerning, in fact. And the whale ratio is coming down a little bit as well. Now, the whale ratio is still technically positive, but what it essentially means, that the number increasing means that there's probably more selling pressure. It's not going to be super exact, but for all the people who are talking about on-chain data and stuff like that, I do think it's rather interesting. I do think it's important to obviously look at, and of course, we will host this data on our app. I mean, for a goddamn reason. But at the end of the day, it needs to be combined with price action. So while things are painting a more rosy picture on the on the on-chain metrics, I would still say that price action, first and foremost, is that's what your P&L is based off of. So speaking of, let's go into it right now. Of which, let's talk about the last daily closure right here. Of which we did close below the bottom side Trollner band right now. And to be fair, while Bitcoin is having a little bit of a short-term move to the upside right here, understand that we've only just come back and filled yesterday's open. That is typically on an actual break of structure, typically a sell in this case, and on the other side would be a buy. Now, I would say again, because we do have not just we have all sorts of things going on today. There is potential for trap right here, but it is not at the current level. This is not where it'd be confirming any sort of a trap sort of function on this price action. If we were to see back above about 31,500, yes, that would do it for me. We can start to run probably up to 35,000 bucks. By we, I mean Bitcoin, because we are not actually Bitcoin. We are people. Bitcoin is an inanimate object. It neither loves nor hates you. It's just fucking there, man. It's just a goddamn asset, and we should probably separate our own selves as human beings from fucking inanimate objects and not fall in love with them or hate them as well. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But as it stands right now, yes, this is still a little bit concerning down here. Obviously, Bitcoin closing on new lows is like not the most bullish thing of all time, but there are several things that do still fit within the context of this potentially being a trap. First and foremost, volume signature on this potential breakdown is not anything out of the ordinary. We also do see that while volatility is heading up, we're not seeing what we would expect from a major break right on over here on the daily specifically. Yes, it is heading up to about a 23 percentile, but that's not anything out of the ordinary for myself. It's not really until we get back above about 50 percentile where it's like, okay, things are moving here. This is still consolidation land to me, and we just actually barely got a positive slope on this run right now as well. So I don't look at these as fully conclusive in and of themselves. And what else do we want to talk about while we're on the short-term timeframes? Actually, let's go over to the short-term timeframes first. And your PP, my PP's on a short-term time frame, says Elsa. Well, thanks for that. Just destroyed my goddamn confidence over here. Maybe I'll just go cry myself to sleep now. Anyways, we do have potential phantom div being built up right here, right now, with any sort of a closure. I'd imagine probably above about 30,400 or so on the 4 hour. But again, this is not going to do anything out of the ordinary for myself. We also see a Joule signal actually kind of building here as well. It did fire off a couple of closures ago, two closures ago. So that'd be right here on the actual low, or actually no, a little bit after the low, but did get the nice little bouncy bounce territory right here up to the 21, going to be your easy target typically speaking. But again, I want to be very, 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 very clear with this. While this is, a nice little bounce, definitely a tradable bounce, no doubt about that, it hasn't done anything of particular interest just yet. And with an event looming over our heads today with the whole like Kathy Woods, Jack Dorsey, and Elon Musk meeting up with each other, I want to talk a little bit about like event psychology, because this is really important. It pretty much works across most major events in most markets that I've seen. So when you have a hype event like this, which essentially the implication is that something big is going to be revealed or something bullish is going to be revealed. It's very similar to Bitcoin Miami event, right? Where I guess people just meet up and talk about Bitcoin, which is great. I mean, that's, it's great to see people who are excited about this asset. I mean, no doubt about that. I am too. But does that change anything? Does that make any difference? No, in and of itself, no, unless we have like an actual fundamental driver that is going to be revealed at an event like that. So let's say that Jack Dorsey comes out and he says, all right, so Twitter is going to now be hosting Bitcoin wallets, or I'm just making shit up right now. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but Twitter's going to host Bitcoin wallets now, and they're going to airdrop everyone $10 worth of Bitcoin to get started. There you go. You can fucking tip people now for tweets that you agree with or bullshit like that. Anyways, my point is with that is that, unless if something big is revealed, it typically is a it's kind of like buy the rumor, sell the news. Buy the lead up to the event, sell the actual event itself. And right now we are seeing a bit of a pop up, on low volume as well, and actually lowering volatility right here as well on the short-term timeframes. So I do suspect that this can, of course, go both ways. That is why everyone hates technical analysis. It can go up or down, but this is actually event analysis right now. And more importantly with this, we're going to have to wait until the actual event happens itself. So let's say Bitcoin does not destroy any sort of major areas to the upside or the downside before that. I would look for the downside to resume again if nothing like that is kind of described there. But again, we don't really know what the whole purpose of the meeting is, at least as far as I understand. It's not like it's not like an announcement from what I understand. It's just like we're going to talk about things, and that doesn't really change anything. It's usually going to be used to generate liquidity for whatever side the market movers want to move the market, and in this case, I do still look at things as mostly trending down here. I mean, it is quite literally trending down on any time frame that matters. So again, if we go to the lower term time frames, where do things start to switch around? Back above about 31,500 on a 4-hour closure. That would do it for me. It's also a 55 right here as well. Anywhere in between there, where we're at right now in that area is no man's land. It means nothing, and generally speaking, higher term time frames will still be more or less bearish. But it's a long day left to go, of course, and until that event, I suspect a lot of things are going to happen. And for right now, if we go over here to my options testnet trading account, I've actually made a few more decisions based off this, especially based off this short-term pop back up with the near expiring options. Again, this is a testnet account. It is not real money, so there you go. Don't try to fucking hack my account like in the past. Really fucking annoying and also quite scary. Anyways, so what have I done over here? So what I did is I bought the 34,000 call strike for cheap. It was just not 25 right there. Satoshi's, whatever the hell it was. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to buy back these $35,000 call strikes, because it's all premium now. You can see they're offered at 15. I'm just going to lift that offer if I can. Let's see if we can buy these back. There we go. Boom. And well, we'll now wait about a whole day to get filled. As you can see, these markets got real fucking fast. But let's see if I get picked up on those. I'd rather take profit on those while I actually have the profit in my hands. And what, you can ride what? Oh, it's a bit wobbly. No, I'm probably just hitting my desk a little bit too much. And Nimbo's got a very good eye for such things. By the way, what's up, Mr. Nimbo? Who else do we have in here? Who else can I see right now? I see Caretaker. What's up, man? Good morning to you. And good chatting with you earlier this morning. Mrs. Elsa is here too. And Philson, I see you, Mr. Philson. And Derek, fuck yeah, man, there he is. Yeah, all my other positions are pretty much the same. It looks like I'm also offering some more of those $17,000 put strikes, because realistically, with the way that Bitcoin's acting right now, or the way with any asset that's acting like this, you want to see essentially follow through on the breakdown no later than 3 days, and preferably within the first day. Sometimes 2 days is okay for a little bit of a sluggish move right here. But as it stands right now, I mean, this is starting to have more and more etchings of a trap. So what we've been speaking about over the last few days, my sort of obsession with these traps, so to speak, I do think is going to be at least warranted right now. So understand, where all of the risk is, understand where all of the major pivots on price action are, and technically speaking, as long as we are below that $31,500 level, even on the 4-hour time frame, it is still overall bearish. I mean, make no mistake about that. And keep in mind the Gaussian channel right now, which I'll pull back up. We haven't necessarily tested the bottom side of this just yet, and that is rising. It is rising rather rapidly, to be fair, but it's currently at about $27,000 or so, I believe, on Stamp. Yeah, just below 27,100 or so. Now, typically what does happen if you are going to test the bottom side of this, you will pop back up and test the median of this. And that's where you get to decide if this trend reversal is going to be real or not, meaning that if we get rejected right there, then that is the time to really pile on the shorts, at least in my experience. And if we do actually and if we actually do see price action start to close back above there on these specific time frames, which is basically going to be the last major area that we've been speaking about, for the past month before last week, if that makes sense, which is about $35,000 to $36,000, then, well, then correction over and bull market resumes, essentially. So as of right now, I still do think that there's several more bearish things on the higher term timeframes than bullish, and best case for bulls, in my opinion, is just sideways AF right now. I don't think that we're going to see a major girthy green dildo to the upside today, or a major massive red dildo to the downside today. I think at most to the downside we see $27,000. At most to the upside we probably see like $32,000, $33,000. And things more or less range. And with that said, I know that that's probably not what people want to hear, because realistically, it's another day of probably boring price action based off of a fucking fake event. But you really don't want, you really don't want to base your hopes and dreams off those events anyways, at least in my experience, because it's no real edge, unfortunately, unless you actually have insider information yourself. So maybe you do, perhaps you do. As I meet more and more people, I mean, people actually do have insider information, which is rather interesting. Anyways, going over here to CME, we see more or less the same thing. Technically speaking, if you are looking at this just from a dildo perspective, you would say that this could be a tweezer bottom. I think it's a nothing right now. I think it's a Jesus toast as it is, and it is quite literally a downtrend as of this moment in time. Are we closing the 2-day today? No, we are not. Are we closing the 3-day today on this one? Yes, we are, and it's actually looking a little bit more bouncy than not right now in the short term. In the short term, 5-day does show max the upside short term is probably like $32,500 to $33,000. So we do see confluence right there, which is good. And let's go check out our momentum charts as well as we go over here. And let's see, let's actually not go to an hourly, because that is way too low of a time frame right now, but let's go to a 4-hour. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, it does look like 4 hour momentum will remain to the upside as long as we're above about 29,600 or so. So if we did want to go back onto our charts over here and mark that area off, which would basically just be that little short-term breakout now, wouldn't it? Yeah, actually a little bit lower than there, in fact. So I do think that you could probably look at this area as a failure area right here. We don't need to look at this one because that is for the daily. This one would be specifically for the very low-term timeframes. And as long as Bitcoin's above there, yeah, short-term does have a chance here. And I'd imagine that stock market's probably going to play a lot of, a big role into this one as well. But looking at it back on over here, yeah, KVDB actually made a new function on this one. He put in a volatility metric in the background right here, and basically the idea is that when we do see momentum turn up or momentum turn in any direction while volatility turns up, that is typically going to be a better signal. Also based off the forecast as well, which is actually rather interesting. And what I need to do right now is I need to put this back on because that's going to make a lot more sense. There we go. But again, we'll be remaining to the upside as long as we're above about 29,600. And if I recall from yesterday, all of even the medium and higher term timeframes we're kind of coming in from a low area as well. So this, this also does kind of play into the potential for a bit of a trappy situation here. 12 hours is going to show what? It's going to show 30,000 bucks. If we do close above there, momentum remains to the upside. Again, coming in from a very, very low area. Daily is going to show what? 29,750, which is even lower than that. So I would actually feel comfortable saying right now, as long as Bitcoin remains above 30,000 bucks, that was your trap right there, as we discussed over the past few days. Which, once again, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I do feel quite good about those, because these are like very difficult things that I've struggled with in the past. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but for me, man, that was one of my big sticking points when I was first starting to trade. So to be able to identify these more like floaty areas of price action it's been like a humongous thing for myself over time. Anyways, yes, daily 29,750. 2-day is what? Or are we closing the 2-day today? Yeah, we are. Yeah, that's going to be 32,300 or so. So not necessarily not necessarily pertinent right now. And 3-day remains to the downside, and 3 days actually looking pretty nasty right there. If I want to be super bearish, I'd be looking at the 3-day and 5-day for the most part. Although 5-day momentum will turn back up above 32,000 and some odd change right there. Anyways, weekly is probably it's going to be much higher, about 35 or so. So fair enough on that one. Anyways, let's go back on over here. I want to see what else we have on this. Let's do the daily perusal of the hash ribbons indicator. What do you fucking know, man? You know what? There actually is one extremely hopium-induced thing to say right here. What is it? We've seen the ever so slightest convergence. The ever so slightest convergence on these two moving averages on this. It's still going to take a long fucking time for this one to get a bullish signal. Or sorry, not even a bullish signal, but a blue buy signal. But once that does happen, I will start to look for long-term longs. Until that happens, I run with I just run with the ranges essentially. Okay, cool. Let me let me take a sip of this yerba mate right here. And just let your soul glow. There you go. What's up, DJ Rolf? Krown Sarah's consolidating. Yeah, man. Hopefully I stop having bearish divergence in my goddamn hair, man. How about that? Anyways, hourly jewel still showing a little bit of upside pleasures here, so maybe we do get a full-on test of 31,000 bucks. Again, that doesn't chew too much for me. It's 31.5 is the magical number, although back above this blue box probably gonna look pretty damn good on a 12-hour, but 12-hour not to be confused with an hourly in this case. And realistically, I do think it's better to err on the side of caution right here. 4 hours still very clearly shows 31.5 as the major area. Okay, is there anything else that I want to talk about right here before we move on? Yeah, let's go look at Bitcoin dominance really quickly, BTC.D, and let's see where this is currently at right now. Let's go to a weekly. We don't care about lower term timeframes on this. I still do look at this as very likely within the midst of, well, no, this is general continuation here is what it looks like to me. Daily's very obviously in an uptrend consolidating right here. Not that you can necessarily, do your typical chart tricks with something like this, but overall this is very clearly an uptrend to myself, and I would be looking for this to make a leg up, actually north of 50%. I don't know exactly when, but probably within the next couple months here. Probably within the next month or two. I'd say by September in this case. We do see a very clear and obvious stop and reverse point right there. So yes, I would be looking for this to generally continue. And there's going to be ebbs and flows along the way. But in general, I imagine most altcoins not going to be having the best time versus their Bitcoin pairing. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to have the worst time versus their US dollar pairing. That is going to be more or less a function of where Bitcoin goes, of course. Anyways, go check out traditional markets. This was also playing into our playing big into our analysis yesterday. What did we say yesterday? We said very likely a short-term upside move. We took out this 14,640 high right here. We'd be looking for a move wherever the next relevant region was. Oh, it's right here, 14,750 or so. Also in line with the daily 10 simple. Yep, we nailed that one just about perfectly. And now comes a fun part, because if this is going to be essentially a bull trap, this is where it comes from. This is going to be represented the other side. In fact, if I'm looking at Nasdaq right now, I would be more on the bearish side on this one, to be honest with you. Yeah, we did have hidden bullish divergence right here. I'd say that that's easily played out right now, at least the easy portion of that. Now, if we do take out, well, I wouldn't even be looking at yesterday's high as a continuation point, although on the 4 hour, it does suggest that we could get something like that, but I'm curious to see, yes, okay, that's exactly what I would have expected. Hidden bearish divergence on the 4 hour right now. It is suggesting that, hey, if we are going to trend down, it happens from here. This is your trap area right here. How do you confirm that this one is going to continue moving in that direction? I'd say any sort of a 4 hour closure, even just coming back down to 14,640, the same breakout area of yesterday on the short-term time frames, extremely likely we will see another retest of the lows, and very likely new lows after that, in my opinion. But at least a retest of the lows, which would be down around about 14,500 to 14,450 or so. In the other case, if we were to obviously negate this hidden bearish divergence right here, how do you do that? We'll take out the top side of this current consolidation. That would be 14,782.5, and then I'd be looking for a return back up to the prior highs, 14,900 or so, and that would look pretty damn good for the boo laws. Keep in mind, hidden bearish divergence is not confirmed here just yet. It will be confirmed with any sort of a closure here or lower, or especially anything below the 21 in this case. Is you could probably front run that, in my opinion. Of course, it's not financial advisor, I'm not a financial advisor, but if this does start to come down, while Bitcoin has not necessarily been correlated to the upside or participating in the upside moves with Nasdaq, I do still think that if Nasdaq does come down, we very likely see Bitcoin come down as well. I'd look at that as a playable signal, to be honest with you. Same thing on SPY over here too, so we don't necessarily need to go over that. They are going to be more or less playing as brothers right now. And yeah, SPY looks a little bit more like it actually might not be a trap, but again, the conditions laid out for that are extremely clear, so it should be, we should have a resolution on that today, probably even sooner rather than later, if I had to guess as well. What else do we want to check out before we move on? Is there anything else of particular interest? We can go check out Bitcoin versus the monetary supply. I believe this is M2 right here. Let's see, did we come down to any major levels? Did we make any new lows? Actually, we have not just yet, which is rather interesting. Let's pull this out a little bit. Let's see, how are we looking like on the monthly right now too? Not really getting too much difference from this chart. However, M1 should be massively different. I imagine. Oh, yes, there we go. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. We actually did come down to the 200 in this case, although it doesn't really have like a good history of accumulating price action, to be fair. What about very short-term timeframes? Obviously, we can't look at that. We need to go to the daily. Yeah, I'm not going to get anything different right here as well. Momentum also is all going to be pointed in the same direction as well. Let's go check out Dixie. That's going to be the last one, and then we'll get on some comments. I'm still bullish on Dixie, man. So this would be another thing kind of pointing to the downside direction of Bitcoin. Now, it's not necessarily like a 100% thing that Bitcoin will go down if Dixie goes up. Obviously, Dixie is going to be measured against a basket of other fiat currencies. So, it's kind of there, kind of not there, but the implication would be that it probably does put downside pressure on Bitcoin if this one really starts to trend up on the higher term timeframes. And I believe that's what we're doing already. I mean, this is no longer a downtrend. We have a reversal in front of our very face. We have a higher low on the weekly, and more importantly, we've already come up to the prior high, and that is not the edging of a downtrend. Just by testing your prior high. While the first pass probably does get rejected, which I think we might have already even seen on yesterday's price action. Yep, a little bit of a wick right there. That's not necessarily bearish, obviously. Anyways, we do have a golden cross coming in on this relatively soon, and I'd probably be looking for this one to trade its way back up to about 94.5 to 94.75 over the next couple months here, and very likely continue on into the end of the year after a bit of a sideways consolidation from there. Man, Elsa's having a fucking laugh test right now. You guys are killing her, man. She's she can't handle herself. You can't fucking handle herself right now. The comments are great right now. Good. Anyways, yes. Is there anything else that I want to talk about right here? No, nothing else that we haven't already said. So I will be hands off on that. Let's do maybe a quick perusal of Dogecoin as well. I'm just curious where it is. No, it's not. It's not down towards my target just yet. Bastards, those fucking bastards. They're manipulating my damn Dogecoins. Not anything to talk about. I mean, it still looks like a steaming pile of shit, but does it get another bounce first? Maybe not. Let's just watch Bitcoin for direction. I don't see anything that's too obvious right there, to be fair. Anyways, I think I'll get onto the comments now, and let's see what we got going on as Bitcoin just has a retest of this region right here. I mean, nothing too interesting just yet, to be fair. All right, let's see what else has got for me over here. There we go. Let's see. Holy shit. Wait, hold on. I think, okay, there we go. Okay, sorry, I got a little bit confused with that. Scott Carney is back. He wants to look at ALYI. Will bounce to the top of the range, now be tested or sideways. Let's see where, I don't think he never left. No, Scott Carney, always number one. Okay, so we are bouncing off the bottom side of what would be this consolidation channel right here. Do I think that it'll test the top side of the range now, like literally from this area right here? I mean, it's going to go sideways and then probably up. It's not going to happen today or tomorrow, man. It's not going to happen this week. It's probably not going to happen this month. But maybe sometime in late August, September or something, that's when you could probably look for another move back to the top side of the range. But I don't even think this thing is not ready to break out anytime soon, man. This thing is going to be going sideways for, you know, at least a couple months within this range, I imagine. And that's like best case scenario. Worst case scenario is obviously that you're going to break down, and that would probably happen sooner rather than later in this case. The longer this one goes sideways, the better. But basically your question is now that we tested the bottom side of it, do we just immediately go test the top side? Not immediately, no, but that would be my bias over the next like month or two. Again, man, if you have to pay rent on this one by Friday, I don't think I would not feel comfortable saying this is gonna basically double. this is gonna more than double actually. Yeah, this is just over a 2x. Anytime soon. No, I don't think so at all. If anything, it's going to probably break down sooner rather than later. Best case scenario is sideways a bit, and I do think that it will trade sideways for a bit, and then probably test the top side of the range, not this month, but probably end of next month if I had to guess. Anyways, okay, this guy speaks more than a woman. Maybe he's gay. I am gay as fuck for TA, brother. Jesus Christ, man. Hey, it's 2021. You can't say that shit anymore. Chaotic Rage says, I'm buckish. Let's go, world champs. Fuck yeah, man. Alexander Gustav says, that little weirdo girl in the beginning is so cringe. No offense. Sir. Sir, you need to get laid. King Cosmic says, hi, Spy, please, 1 hour in daily. Let's do it, man. Big green dailies today. It's very interesting to see like who gets very like angry with just a girl talking. Very, very bizarre stuff. But hey, you know, fair enough, man. Fair enough. I've seen worse things in my life. Anyways, okay, 1 hour in daily. Okay, 1 hour. 1 hour we have an obvious range going on. I don't really have a downside for it. I just have a top side of it, 43.25 or so. The daily I think is a little bit more obvious in this case, and I think actually Nasdaq direction is probably gonna directly influence this one. It's a lot more easy to read right now too. What I say on this one, I mean, do we have any obvious indicators on the daily? No, I don't see anything that's obvious right now on the daily, actually. Short term, just a little bit of sideways right here. I would give it the benefit of the doubt right now, actually, but just like Nasdaq, I imagine if we do go to the 4 hour, which you did not ask for, if we do confirm this hidden bearish divergence, I would be looking for this one to come back down, somewhere back down around about 42.75, 42.70-ish region before a little bit of a bouncy bounce, and that will be confirmed in about 32 minutes if this one essentially closes here or lower, especially anywhere below the 4 hour 21 in this case, which is just a few bucks lower as well. So I do think that would probably be front runnable anyways. And if I had to call it right now, yeah, I do think that this one does fail and it does come back down. See what actually momentum also to say on this one too. I'm curious what we got running over here. Actually, let me just scroll back down as well. There we go. And what do we have? Hourly is already turning down, but that is not an actionable signal as volatility turns down as well. 4 hour, not really giving me too much there as well. Daily, well, all those are kind of a little bit more upside posturing than not, if anything. I mean, SPY is actually a lot of the momentum also just an upside. I do think there is a strong likelihood though, and I would be very, 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 very careful. Again, I do think that it's worth waiting about 30 minutes here, just kind of see. Okay, cool. Michael Crook says, hey, can you check out MRIN stock? Looking for a bounce at the 1 and 4. Okay, MRIN, Marin. Hey, Marin Software. Nice. Let's see. Looking for a bounce, 1 and 4 hour. Okay, if you are looking for a bounce, would I be looking at the 1 and 4 hour? Well, let's see where we are in the grand scheme of things first. Okay, so we had one massive girthy green dildo party in the past month or so, and you're basically looking for a bounce right here. I mean, I do think that you're kind of right on a bouncy bounce territory, but would you be looking for a bounce like immediately? That I'm not so sure about. You did already get your gap fill bounce right here. That did actually have a nice little bounce for a short-term time frame trade. I do think it's going to try to level out here though. You do see a little bit of activity right here. as it starts to level out a bit. Let's see what momentum also is saying. Yeah, it should actually have some no, is there a bullish divergence right here? I mean, technically speaking, this should that should work out. Hourly Jewel also kind of same thing. It is just in a little bit of sideways and then probably does bounce back up somewhere around about $9, but I think you're kind of range bound at best. At worst, you break through this area and then come all the way down to like 420, which is a great number. But for right now, ooh, Bitcoin girthy green dildo party getting started right now. Here we go. Show me the green dildos, baby. Show me the green dildos, just so that Slime Cruz can talk more like a woman. Maybe he's gay too. Sam Fragnosi says, floor story, please, kind sir. All right, what kind of floor story do you want right now? We got price action going on right here. What kind of story do you want, man? Let me just take a sippy sip of this water. Man, I can tell you some fucked up broker stories, man. Like broker. Nobody cares about Bitcoin. They just care about my hair. Fair enough, man. I am gay for TA too. Another floor broker story. Okay, let's see. Nothing too much in particular, but I do think that it is insightful to know like how business is being done down there. So one of the brokers was kind of known for this, and understand that like floor brokers, they're kind of in. How do I explain this? Like they're kind of in their own competition, of course, with the other floor brokers, but also with their customers and then the floor market makers. So I was a market maker authorized trader, and what would happen is that brokers would come into our pit, make like what's called an open outcry, where they basically announce what the other counterparty wants, usually some sort of like a big firm or bank or something like that, and then we get to say if we want some or not. Anyways, this one fucking guy would always come in. And you're supposed to, by law, you're required by law to like yell it out so that everyone can hear. And this guy would fucking come in, especially when it was like a super juicy trade that like we'd actually fucking want. And he'd whisper it. He'd fucking whisper it, man. That guy would actually did get fined a couple of times for that. But man, there's just a lot of shady shit that would go on. Similar to that kind of stuff right there. Similar to the story that I told you yesterday where, you know, it would definitely sound a lot like insider trading going on. You know, shit like that, man. You get to see firsthand, and it's just, I guess it is the way it is. But you know, at the end of the day, that sort of shit is kind of on the way out. Like floors in the way that you have seen in the past like 30, 40 years, they're not going to be like that. They're not going to be that way anymore. It's going to be all online. I mean, there's barely even anyone, there's barely even anyone there anymore. Like when I used to clerk for my father, when I was like in my early teens, there would be 1,000 to 1,500 people on the floor of Pacific Stock Exchange. Jesus Christ, man, I'm losing my words right there. And then nowadays, like when I was down at Arca, there was maybe like 20 floor traders, and then maybe like 30 brokers, and then personnel, behind the OTC desks of like, I don't know, no more than 50 people for sure. Probably around 20 to 30 if I had to guess. Anyways, let's see. Bitcoin Boogie says, that guy on Twitter calling you an idiot about your TA on Dixie was less than desirable. I mean, look, I don't feel inclined. I do appreciate the support, man, but I don't feel inclined to reply to someone like that. I mean, it's just, if someone wants to be rude, they want to be rude. Like, I'm just talking about fucking technical analysis in the way that it's in my face. I mean, if you want to disagree with me on that, I mean, that's fine. But I think it's been proven that I was right on that one. It's not that I'm necessarily right. It's just the analysis was right. And that's, that person was obviously having like an emotional response to just me saying that the dollar is going to go up. It's like, why are you mad at me for it? It seems like you have your own issues, man. And that's maybe something worth thinking about. Like, I don't take it personally anymore. It used to kind of get to me when people would say shit like that. Like, but nowadays it's just like, all right, man, you have your opinion. If you strongly believe that, go ahead and trade whichever way that you want. You don't need to fucking convince me for your trade to work out. Like, that's where true confidence comes from, is understanding that no matter who you're listening to, no matter what you're thinking yourself, it doesn't matter. Like, price action is going to do what price action is going to fucking do, regardless of anyone else's opinion. So if you think that I'm wrong on something, that's cool. We can definitely have a disagreement. No doubt about that. But you don't need to convince me. You don't need to convince me in order for price action to do what you think it's going to do, right? And I think that's rather obvious. And anyone who's been trading for at least like a year, maybe even a few months, probably already knows that. So I figured that person is just well Well, he'll sort himself out, right? Anyways, appreciate it, man. I do sincerely appreciate that. Nimbo says, can we transplant some of whatever Hex is snorting into Bitcoin? Doesn't seem to be able to keep it down. Let's see what Hex is doing right now. I'm actually curious, man. This one's been a fun one to follow up on. Oh, okay, yes, I would still say that this is probably it right now. I do look at this as a bit of a selling climax right there, to be honest with you. I mean, it is still trading sideways, to be fair, but I do think at best this one does go sideways for a little bit. I don't think that you're going to see any new all-time highs on this one anytime soon. Could this be a market top? I don't know if I'd say that just yet. It's damn close. See, do we have any bearish divergence right here? We do populate itself on the weekly 1, 2, 3 drives right there. And which highs would this be? This would be this high, that high, and that high. Let's see if this is a little more obvious on a 5-day. It certainly is, but we only have 2 drives right there. I'd still let it go sideways a little bit, and then probably does come down. I do think that this one's probably done for a little bit of time. I mean, it's basically having its event right now, right? So it's rather likely, we'll say. It doesn't really say all that much. All right, let's see. Burnt Creme says, "Hey, gay for TA. What's up, man? Nice doggy picture too. I actually never identified your avatar as a cute little dog. What breed is that?" I like. I think that's the one that Elsa's friends have. They're really sweet dogs, man. Miguel says, "Hey, Krown, all good? All is well, sir. Got a good night of sleep last night, and had a good little doctor visit as well. Got my blood taken, so that's always fun. Anyways, curious about VET USDT. One day, when does a lower low can tell us enough is enough to let's go up? Well, never, in my opinion, never, because what you're looking for a reversal, like going low, making lower lows is never going to be bullish to me. It's just, do we look for a bounce or not is a question right here. I really don't like this price action, man. You got a death cross on the way. It's probably going to pump into the death cross. I wouldn't mind if this thing popped up all the way north of like 7.25, 7.5 or so. It's actually even probably likely. But if that does get rejected anywhere around there, I'd be looking for that death cross to get played out, and next move to the downside is going to be a little bit below 4 cents in this case. Anyways, let me just reread your questions so that I can make sure that I know exactly what you're looking at. Okay, so you're talking about a daily, and the question is, sorry, very unprofessional. When does a lower low tell us enough is enough, let's go up? Okay, so there's never a case where you're going lower and you're like, this has to be it, this has to be the bottom, we're reversing from right here and it's going to be an uptrend. You can never actually say that, but what you can say is that you can be looking for a bounce and a potential reversal based off of a few other conditions. So what I think your question is better formulated as, how do you essentially look for a bounce? Well, in this case, a pretty damn simple way to be looking for one is looking for some sort of divergences. Essentially, what it's suggesting is that momentum is waning to the downside if you are looking for a bounce rather than the opposite, and you can probably play a bit of a bounce to the next relevant resistance. Maybe there is going to be a reversal, but that's going to, of course, be a little bit later on as you need to confirm, well, an actual higher low in this case, and then preferably a higher high as well to fully complete it. But in this case right here, you can see obviously closing on new lows is not going to be ever considered bullish, obviously. But do we have potential bullish divergence going on right here? Well, first off, we don't necessarily have a confirmed local low, although there are several things saying that we are a little bit spent to the downside for the short term. Do we have any bullish divergence going on right here? No, we do not. RSI is making new lows with price action. Maybe we can go to a slightly lower time frame than this and see if there's any present on the 12-hour. As always, if you don't like what you see on one time frame, just move time frames until you see something that you do like. Great fucking way to lose your account. 12-hour does not have it. 10-hour, do we have any right here? No, we do not. What about 4-hour? Even a 4-hour? Yeah, we do have it on the 4-hour. So short term, yeah, probably does have a little bit of a bouncy bounce. If this one does want to take out this level, similar to Bitcoin back above, let's call it 31, I'd be looking for this one to rally up somewhere north of 6 3/4 or so. That's going to be the next major area. And that could definitely drive the daily at that point. In fact, we might even have a bullish engulfing, or would we? Yeah, we would have a bullish engulfing, so you could probably extend targets a little bit more. But to call a reversal off that, which I'm not sure was what your question was based off or not, but I just want to be clear here, would not be something that I would do. I would just extend targets a little bit and then open up the possibility of, okay, if we see a higher low at some point, then we do probably have at least a potential reversal in progress, and that's something worth being aware of. But for right now, no, just relevant levels to the upside. And yes, this one very likely does bounce a little bit more. So basically, that's a very long way of saying if I'm looking for a balance after a pretty prolonged downtrend, I'm looking at momentum also just to kind of tell me if there's any sort of divergence. And I'm looking at also volatility metrics as well to kind of judge, you know, are we at like a major pivot or something? You know, are we seeing extremes right now? Typically, like if we see a very high read on your short-term timeframes like this, you can probably look for at least a little bit of sideways consolidation as it does contract a bit. In this case right here, you know, we saw that coming off this, coming off this area right here. We did get all the way up to about almost a 90 percentile actually in the little bit, in the small consolidation, and now getting a bit of a bounce on top of that. So so those two things is what I'd be looking at, momentum and also volatility. Those are going to be your best defense against that, at least in my experience. All right, let's see what else we got. Elsa's being lazy again, and she hasn't passed me the damn comments. So let's see what else. I'm gonna have to find them myself right now. All right, let's see. There it is. Hambone Crypt says, "See doggy breaking. 20 cents. Want to go to bed? Do I see doggy breaking? Let's see. Let's go over to it. 20 cents would actually be a bit of a medium-term reversal in this case. Yeah, right above this prior high right here. Do I think that that's going to happen here? We do have bullish divergence come off the low. The easy portion of that move certainly already played out. I wouldn't call that from its current posturing, and I don't feel confident to play doggy on its own. Only if Bitcoin moves in that direction too. But we do see on doggy coin specifically something that we do not see on Bitcoin, which we do have potential bullish divergence formulating itself on the 12-hour, and I think the daily might be there as well. Yeah, it is there, and that actually would imply targets back up to 20 cents, and that'd kind of be the same thing that we spoke about on Dixie earlier. It's like it's not bearish come back around your prior breakdown point, and in this case, you know, I'd extend targets after a little bit of a pullback there, probably up to about 22 and a half to 23 cents right there, which is unfortunate, man, because I really want to release that fucking goddamn music video, but whatever, I'll be patient a little bit longer, and let's actually see how the weekly's popping up here. I'm not really getting too much from this either. Let's see where we at in the Gaussian channel. Oh, we haven't even tested it. Jesus, man. Wow. All right, well, interesting. Doggy still holding up relatively better than most other things in this market. That is concerning. That is very concerning. All right. Anyways, moving on here. Let's see what else we got. Oh, whoa! It's Sam Bakeman-Fide. Holy shit, man. Good to meet you. Interstellar Dweller says, "Hey, SBF here. You can all laugh at me, but I gotta ask about Shiba Inu." Thanks, Ram. No problem, man. Let's see. This is the SHIB token. This is the SHIB token. All right. Go to Binance, I guess, and what do we have here? We have a downtrend. Crazy. This is mind-blowing stuff. What do we? Let's see. Did you give any time frames now that I go back to it? No, you did not. So I'm not necessarily sure where to go with this one. Short term, yeah, probably does a little bit more upside here. It does look like, again, assuming that Bitcoin does take another leg up, it does look like Bitcoin has a good, good chance of doing that. I'd be looking somewhere right around about 680 or so. And probably short-term pullback from there. We do see 4-hour bullish divergence potentially formulate itself and need to see closure here or higher. Anywhere above about 620 would do it for me. Still another 2 hours left to go. I'm curious if the lower-term time frames show the same thing. No, but they look okay from a momentum also perspective. Yeah, they actually all look like they want to take a little bit of a leg up. I do think that the general market actually probably does have another try up here before the event itself. 12 hours really not doing too much for me. I mean, it looks like an absolute shitcoin, so that's it's not very helpful. Weekly is garbage, absolute fucking garbage, but can I have a short-term upside move here? I don't know if that's what you were asking for or looking for. Yes, I do think so, but again, easier to watch Bitcoin on direction. We could also put it on, whoops, wrong chart once again. Let's put it on this chart over here and just see. This was SHIB, not doggy. Let's just see what we have right here. Go to Binance, and yeah, daily would not take too much for this one to cross back up. As you can see, I mean, it's pretty much already there. 12 hours, same thing. 4 hours already there. Everything's coming in from the same angle. So typically speaking, when I see something like that, I will look for, continuation in that direction to the next relevant level. In this case, the next relevant level would be on the short-term timeframes, back around about 675, maybe even all the way up to like 695 or so. Anywhere around there would be fair game in my opinion. Okay, Casey Walsh says, "Hey, hello, sir. OHM DAI bullish recovery on hourly. Well, hourly is fair enough. We can just go with it, man. Bullish recovery on an hourly. Actually, 4 hour looks okay too. This would be your bull trap area though if this one does want to turn around. I didn't ask about a daily, but I want to see it. Okay, here's where things get a lot more obvious. Yeah, this one I don't care about the hourly in this case, man. This one very likely is going to try higher. This is good. I don't know what the underlying pair is. DAI. I'm not familiar with that, but whatever it is, OHM is obviously bullish against it. I'd be looking for continuation of trend right here. Volume signature does support that. If we go down to your shorter term timeframes, let's see. Yeah, it looks fine. I'd probably be looking for a retest of the highs over the next day or two, and then probably pull back from there, consolidate a little bit more, and then it probably makes this move. Maybe not this week, but next week. This is fine right here, in my opinion. I know you didn't ask about these higher term timeframes. Not that there's much to talk about there, but yeah, probably gonna be fine right there. I don't think it doesn't look like this one plays as much with Bitcoin, or I imagine that's due to the denominating currency right here, or whatever the fuck that thing is. But hey, it's outpassing that, and that's all that it needs to do in this case. All right, cool. So Omis. Nice, man. Nice one. BK says, can you look at AMP USD Gemini for daily and weekly? Sure. Yes. Yes. This one, very popular a couple weeks ago. Let's see if it's still going to be popular. All right, it's right on the 200 on the daily right here. So it probably does get a bit of a pity bounce, no matter, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish, probably back up to like 4.5 cents or so. You asked about a weekly as well. Weekly looks like it wants to break down to me, man. I would not be bullish on this one, if anything, just for like a short-term upside move. 4 hour does suggest we could very easily get back to 4.5 cent, but this is just not looking too hot right here, to be honest with you. But all sorts of bullish divergences being populated on a short-term time frame. So yeah, short-term very likely does have another try back up to the upside. I would use this area right here to kind of break my biases. Just this little local high, whether you want to look at it on a 4 hour closing base at about actually literally 4.5 cent or 4.74 on a wick. If that does get taken out, I would extend targets much higher to the 200 in this case, just above 5.25. And maybe this one salvages itself at that point, but I think the weekly kind of speaks for itself. This is not hot. Multiple drives of bearish divergence come off the highs. So yeah, short term very likely has a bounce here. Again, same thing as the daily. But understand where the major areas are, and long term I would not even be considering like a long term reversal in this thing as long as it's below, especially like 6.8 cent right here. And actually, now that I look at it, do we have? No, we do not have. Okay, so apologies on that one. That is not going to hold true. Maybe it's true on a 12 hour, but overall it does, it looks like it wants to bounce a little bit. Hey, we do have it on the 12 hour though. Yes, we do have 12 hour bullish divergence very likely populating itself anywhere above the last 12 hour high, and I'd look for that 4.5 tick, and obviously that can have implications for further upside after that. Fair enough. And maybe it even is one of these death cross baiters and then runs the other way. Could very well be. But again, long term, I would not say that this is anywhere close to reversing anytime soon. I would be looking to be probably getting out on bounces here. Anyways. Okay, cool. Again, it's not finished advisor. Not finished advisor. The first thing from it, actually. Michael Crook says, hey, Krown, can you check out XELA stock 1 in day for £8? Okay. All right, this is actually really good. So you have a time frame that you're given. You're kind of telling what you are looking for. And let's see. Okay, so what are you looking for a bounce right here? I mean, you got a golden cross, but this one's just going sideways. I don't think that that's going to get any realistic play. Short-term timeframes, hourly, do I think that we bounce off this area once again? Yes, but extremely short-term, I do think it's going to give you another try towards about $2.50 before trying a bit of a bounce. And how high can the bounce go? Anywhere back around this gap right here is fair game, like 3.25. So yeah, I do think that you probably do have a little bit of a bounce trade right there, but I don't think that this one's going to be like, reversing or trending anytime soon. At best, this one kind of goes sideways within this range. Extremely short term, a very, very short term upside move probably, and then I'd be looking for it to fall back down into range. This is an absolute shitcoin of a chart, whatever the hell this thing is. Where do you guys find these charts, man? Nothing bullish about this thing at all whatsoever long term, as long as you're below about 410, 412 or so. All right, cool. Again, you didn't really ask for that, so I don't even know why I'm highlighting that. Style Exterior says, I need some balls Jesus in my life. I need some balls Jesus in my life. Much love, bro. Much love to you as well, sir. Nimbo says, can we do a 4 hour daily on? Yeah, we can do MicroStrategy. Let's check this out. Let's check this one out. We should also check out Coinbase as well. Okay, very interesting right here. Very interesting to me. I know you didn't ask about it, but the weekly actually is saying a lot on this one. This is not what a breakdown looks like. This one's consolidating on the higher term timeframes. I would hesitate to get full on super bearish on this thing, especially as long as it's above the weekly 55. I mean, that's just a hard rule right there. Let's see, daily sideways. I'd be looking for bounces within this region. I don't know if it's bouncing exactly from this current posture, but anywhere in this region right here is fair game for a bounce back up to the median, about 575, $600. I mean, that's no problem in my opinion. Yeah, I would not be bearish on this one as it is, and lower term timeframes are showing that we very likely are lining up for a bounce relatively soon. I just don't I don't know if it's going to happen like right off the fucking open. I think it probably trades a little bit of sideways here first, maybe even gives another try back down to like 460, 450 or so, and then probably goes for the bounce. But sideways is the name of the game on this one. It looks like nothing more crazy than that, man. Nothing more crazy than that. The weekly really tells the story in this one. And actually, let's go check out the monthly as well, just to like fully get it. Yeah, man, the monthly is also not like. Okay, the monthly could be terrible, but in its current posturing, it's not. Especially as long as you're maintaining above these wick lows, which is all the way down at 411. I look at this as healthy sideways first, and long term. Let's just get the full picture on this one. I mean, what are we seeing right here? We're seeing a consolidation. We're seeing a consolidation above your prior. Just what do you even want to call this? This is like a very sloppy, weird, and unobvious accumulation phase. But more importantly. As long as we're above there long term, I mean, this is a healthy pullback and consolidation on the higher term timeframes. I don't have any major issues with that, to be honest with you, man. I just think it's going to be massively boring here, kind of like Bitcoin. This probably aligns more with Bitcoin continuing with the sideways crab market more than anything else. Anyways, go check out Coinbase. I really want to see this one as well. I haven't done the daily perusal of this one, and it looks like it closed on a bit of an up note yesterday. Hey, look at that! Wow. I'm not a big fan of triple bottoms, but same thing going on right here. You got a clear and obvious trading range now, don't you? Highs at 250, lows at 210. Looks like we just tested the lows. Let's go test the median somewhere right around about 235, 240ish region, and then figure it out from there. I don't think this one's trending to the downside right now as well. More and more things are lining up with just not necessarily that Bitcoin's not going to play out like further downside, but just the fact that we're not going to see any like major massive move today. Probably even this week. Anyways. All right, sweet. Hey, what's up, Paranoid? Please tell Krown that DI is basically a USD. Okay, so it's like a synthetic USD. Got it. Alex here says, Boolah, screw autocorrect. I know, man. It's the bane of my life. It's not letting me send my super chat question. Bogus, I'll send it in chat. All good, man. Elsa will pick it up, and we will get to it from there, sir. Given the great unlock has started, even though it can't. Okay. Tesla and GBTC. Let's look at GBTC for sure. I've really been not paying attention to GBTC for a while now, but perhaps. Oh my god! Wow, that looks like shit. That looks like shit, man. If I want to be super bearish, I'm looking at GBTC right now. Jesus, that is not a good chart. That is not a good chart at all. GBTC probably coming down to like 20 and a quarter. Wow, nasty, very fucking nasty. Month. Oh my god. The problem is we really haven't seen. It used to be that GBTC would actually trade ahead of Bitcoin. This was back in 2017, 2018, and a bit of 2019. It hasn't really been consistent since like mid 2019. So I don't know how much weight I put on this, but this is extremely obviously bearish. Wow. Yeah, if I want to be bearish, I'm looking at GBTC right now. Death cross just happening right now on the breakdown. Volatility starting to spruce back up as well. Yeah, not fucking good. You also said Tesla too. We can look at Tesla. I don't think Tesla trades as much with Bitcoin. Tesla's fine. Short term probably pops back up to 690 or so, 700 or so. It's very similar. It's a lot more similar to MicroStrategy than anything else, but this one looking more healthy. Just sideways is the name of the game here. Same thing. We don't even need all these trend lines either. Those are relevant to other time frames very clearly. Something like this and this. We're just right smack dab in the middle. Looks like once Tesla tops out of it. Short term, somewhere right around here. Short term is probably is likely. Momentum also just pointing a little bit of upside here too. I don't have any major risks with this. Just sideways, probably boring for a little bit of time. Monthly says up to. Very interesting. Jesus Christ, man, what the hell is going on within this market? The market that never goes down, man. Nick says, hey, Krown, hope you're having a good day. I'm having a great day, man. Hope you're having a great day as well. Can you check out Ethereum USD on the 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily, please? Sure. Let's see. Okay, 1 hour. What did you say? 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily. Okay, gotcha. Okay, let's see. What is the hour looking like? Looking very similar to Bitcoin. Pop back above the prior breakdown range. Good. I'd probably extend these targets here back up to about 19, just above 19. Let's see. What does the 4 hour say? 4 hours showing very similar signatures to Bitcoin here. We could populate this phantom drive of bullish divergence. In fact, I'd say this is probably front runnable. Yeah, very likely to trade back above 1900 before this is all said and done. Still a downtrend, but short term a little bit of upside. It looks like daily, same thing. Same thing, not really giving me too much here. Daily, kind of similar to a few of those stocks that we looked at. Again, a very simple chart here on the daily. Very, very simple chart. I mean, we got a range going on. Here's your lows, here's your highs. What do you say after that? I mean, we just test the lows, probably going to pop back up, maybe test around. I mean, the daily says we could very easily test around 2,000 or so, but I'd want to see the 4-hour test 19 first. I want to see the reaction there. If you start to see closures above 19, wherever the 55 is at that point, which probably does naturally come down to about 19 even or so. If you start to see closures above there, I would extend targets to about 2,000 and then come back to it after that. But again, ranging here, not necessarily in breakdown mode just yet. And the daily, for all that it's worth, could print some bullish evidence here too, and actually some more interesting ones as well. So any sort of a closure above yesterday's high, which is 1850 or so, which we're just above right now, not a whole hell of a lot, but a long day to go. Then I would extend targets. Yeah, I would extend targets to $2,000 at the very least, maybe even more over time. So still ranging market. This more and more things are lining up with this market. Not necessarily like not breaking down. It's just we're probably doing more sideways. Gonna be more boringness, baby. We are on the moon right now, fellers. We are on the moon right now. All right, let's see what else we got. Let me scroll back down around here. Let's see. I see Mario. What's up, man? Hey, Krown, if Bitcoin won't break down now or this week below 30,000, isn't that an overall good thing? I would say, yes, I would say so. The longer that Bitcoin goes sideways, I've been saying this for the last 2.5 months now. The longer that Bitcoin goes sideways here without having any like major volatile move to the downside, the better this is going to start to look for Bitcoin boulas this week specifically. Yes, because the way that things are looking at, the bears have pretty much everything in their court right now, and if they're not going to take their shot, I'd say probably by Friday, maybe even today, honestly. I'd be looking for a bounce to the upside first before anything else. Yeah, I'd agree. I'd strongly agree with that. Let's see. Also take a look at Amazon. Sure, man. Let's see. AMZN, no time frames given, so I'm just going to go with the daily weekly on this one. Wow, the market that never goes down. Look at that, man. Look at that nice little retest of the breakout. Does this one continue onwards and upwards? It looks like so, man. Kind of hard to be bearish on this one. It's kind of hard to be bearish on this one just in general, but as long as you're above about 3,500, bullish. Weekly just looks like a retest for right now. Now, of course, there's a very obvious trade here. That would be on the swing failure pattern with any sort of a closure below this 3,500 level. But for right now, I treat it as real, and the monthly still looks more or less good to me. In its current posturing, still another week and a half to go. But yeah, man, you give things the benefit of the doubt in the same direction as the trend, and this one would be that. And again, the areas for a swing failure pattern here are very, very easy. So that's what I'd be looking at right there, man. I guess let's still be bullish on this one. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Insane. Absolutely insane. Launching it off to the moon and beyond, baby. Launching off to the moon and beyond. All right, we got Cole Evans. What's up, Mr. Cole? Hey, Brother Krown. Hello, Brother Mr. Evans. Can you look at Cardano USD Binance today on the short and medium? Bounce follow through to 120. Let's check it out. I'd imagine this one's probably going to be having a decent balance, all things considered, with the way that Bitcoin's looking. And yes, it very much is. Okay, so you're saying on the short and medium term time frames, bounce follow through to 120. We're already at 120. So, oh, sorry, we're at 112. Jesus. All right, where's 120? All the way up here. Man, this one actually did get a little bit more beat up to the downside than a lot of other things. Let's see, do we see anything of particular obviousness right here? A little bit of a falling channel going on right there, to be fair. This would be the more Bula-ish view on this one. I guess more of a falling pizza in this case. I'm not a big fan of falling pizzas, but we'll represent the hopium for right now. 4-hour bullish divergence populating itself. Any sort of a closure here or higher will do it in the next hour and 52 minutes and 13 seconds or so. Next target would be right below 120. I'd say 118.5 to 119 or so. Is that close enough in this case? Probably close enough for you. Daily. Do we see anything obvious right here? There is one very interesting thing that I do see. Daily Jewel, while this is technically a downside signal right here, it's going to be very difficult to keep it down here for this long. And the second that this thing turns white, I'd be looking for a decent medium-term time frame bounce. No, you didn't ask about a weekly, but it's not really giving me too much here. See what the hourly says. Same thing as the 4-hour. It does look like we could very easily see another drive here. Let's see what it looks like on our momentum charts. There we go. Let's see what the 4-hour says. Yeah, 4 remains the upside as long as above 103. Good. Hourly says 106 is the magical number. What does 12-hour say? 106 again, coming up a couple times there, and daily says 104. Yeah, I think this one does probably try a little bit of upside here. Again, watch Bitcoin for direction. It's going to be the most obvious of them all, and probably going to be the one to rule them all. But a lot of things are aligning with that. So we probably have an intraday, an intraday continuation bounce the upside into this event. But again, I want to express some serious, not necessarily concern, but just caution around this event. I would not trade this event myself, at least on spot. I typically close all my trades before an event. Super Googly says, this is very, very scary for Bitcoin hodlers. Hi, sir. Can we have a look at Alice BTC one day, please? Sure, man. Yeah, I love those. I love those titles, man. I love those titles on good old YouTube. Bitcoin, yeah, it was Bitcoin. Alice Bitcoin. It's I actually really appreciate the creativity of a lot of these crypto creators to just come up with like the same title repackaged in a million different ways every day. Like, yeah, the level of creativeness is very impressive. Anyways, you're looking at a daily here. Let's see what we got. I don't see anything too obvious right here. I mean, it is a long-term downtrend, obviously, but I'm not getting too much off this. A little bit too new to look at a weekly. You said daily specifically. To me, shorter-term timeframes, bit of a range going on right here. I don't think it's doing anything too interesting on the short-term timeframes. This is a Bitcoin pairing, not going to be the same thing as a US dollar pairing. Think that it probably maybe tries a little bit of an extension to the upside here, somewhere around 17.5 to 17.7 region. Probably carries out the sideways after that, though. I don't think it's going to be like trending right now. This is sloppy. This one's not obvious, man. You know what? I think the right thing to say on this one is that I do not fucking know, man. This one's sloppy as all hell. I don't have any major opinion on this one. If I did, it'd be short term up somewhere around about 17.7, maybe even as much as like 18.500. Anywhere around there would be fine. Probably rejects there and comes back down into range and continues with the sideways. But short term does look like it has a little more upside signals than not, but not the most obvious chart of all time. And I certainly do not feel confident on this one like at all. Okay, let's see. Send him the CT post above. Where else? Just send me the fucking post. Don't send me Nimbo's post. CT is caretaker. How do you not know this? Jesus Christ. Let's see. Gently caress the likes, tickle the little bell. There you go, man. Give the bell a little tickly. Hey, what's up, Greg Smith? Holy shit, man. Talk about OGs of the case. Investopedia asking for a friend. What about Investopedia? Is an excited burp an indicator of a lower low? It can be. Let's see. The caretaker says where is it? Where that be? No, I think that was the message. Yes, if you do feel inclined, please do like and subscribe. It actually does help out the channel quite a fair bit, and it's appreciated as well. Crypto go to move. I saw, what's actually really impressive, man? Crypto, I saw his logo. The Crypto logo on a Formula One car. Like, what? Where? What the fuck? Man, regardless of your thoughts on him, that is super cool. That is super fucking cool, man. I happen to actually like Crypto as a person, man. He's a good dude. His analysis, I don't know so much about that, but as a person, man, he's a good dude. Elsa AMC, please, says Megan Hutchinson. Yeah, we can look at that. AMC. Let's go look at the Mimi shitcoin stocks. How about that? Yeah, popping back up, getting a little bit of the short-term love here. I forget what we said on this one yesterday. Probably did say a bit of a bounce first. Probably going to extend the bounce a little bit too. Maybe back up just north of $50. But make no mistake about it, I would still probably be long-term bearish on this one. Yeah, short-term very likely does continue with the bounce. Wouldn't be surprised to see this one in the low 50s in the next week or two. I'm curious what GameStop is doing. I imagine the same thing. I remember yesterday we did say GameStop is in a bouncy area, and yes, it is bouncing right now. Does it extend the bounce just like just like AMC? Probably yes as well. Anywhere in the low 200s, between about 205 to 210 is fair game. But as long as you're below this area right here, 235, still long-term bearish. I stick with what I've been saying for a long time here, man. This one, I think this one's seen its a days. It's just going to trade sideways and down for, I don't know, the next year and a half. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take a very long time. But it's coming very likely. Let's see what we got over here. What else do we have? We have Seth Kalin. I haven't seen you before, so welcome and good to meet you, man. Hey, man, can you review XLM, please? A review? Do you mean look at a chart of it? Sure. We can look at it. I actually do have Stellar. Where's my Stellar? Maybe I took it off. No, it's right there. I still have it as STR from the Poloniex days. Okay, so what time frames are you looking at? You did not give a time frame. Monthly looks like shit. Weekly looks like shit. Daily looks like bounce into shit. But higher term time frame still all very obviously shit here. That's the problem with this. Wow. Man, this thing just does not like to participate on any of the upside moves, does it? Look, this thing can bounce with the rest of the market, no problem. Short term, 22 3/4 is completely fair game. I wouldn't be surprised to see it hit around there. Even has bullish divergence on the daily, so I would actually be looking at that as a general target. Can even extend all the way to 24 1/4, no problem, but heavily bearish long term as long as you're playing out the downturn, which is as long as you're below about 28. I see no real reason that this one's going to reverse anytime soon. For like a long-term move, but short-term moves, yeah, probably does have a little bit of short-term upside here alongside the rest of the market. Is kind of what I'm thinking for this one. I would switch around my long-term analysis on this one. Is there anything obvious on the weekly? Not necessarily. I would want to see this one in real time. Long term, there's nothing bullish about this thing as long as it's below about 28 1/4. But short term, yeah, I would be looking for a bit of a bouncy here extension. Just under 23 cents where I'd be looking towards, and then the next big level is going to be about 25 1/4. So, and that probably plays with the rest of the market as well. Again, I generally think that the market's probably going to continue on with the short-term bounce here, and then we'll come back a little bit later, perhaps on a shorts video tonight, and see if the bounce is sustained or if this is just a sell the event type of deal. Evil Quandris, hey, what's up, man? I'm late. It's all good, man. We in the Cardano falling wedge bounce yet? Let's check it out. We just looked at it actually, but I don't think I plotted a falling wedge, or at least I don't believe I did. Or I think I did on one of them. Oh, I did. Yeah, it was this one. All right, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it does work for it on the daily specifically. Let's see if we were to use, or sorry, on the 4 hour specifically, could we use it on a daily too? Yeah, could use it on a daily, more of a channel in that case. I think the 4 hours are slightly more obvious though, because we do have closures. Very, 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 very well put. Are we in the bounce, in the wedge bounce yet? Yeah, I do think that you are bouncing from here, if that's your general question. Next major area is about 118 and a half to 119 or so. Above there, things start to change around a little bit, and you could probably extend targets to the top side of this area. It's also going to be synonymous with the 200 exponential average as well, just below 130 or so, and coming down somewhat rapidly. You got bullish evidence on the daily populate itself. 4 hour jewels giving you a bit of a soft signal right there as well. I'd want to see volatility increase with it here too, but at least for right now, I'd give it the benefit of the doubt for a short-term move. It doesn't look like things want to. Again, if you're super bearish right now, and I think that there's plenty of good reasons to be super bearish, no doubt about that. I don't think that you're looking for the move right now. At least in the short and medium-term timeframes, no, I don't think so. Yeah. And I'd be saying the same thing about Cardano here. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing even make a leg up to 1 1/4 if things really get going too. Still would be in the overall consolidation range. Doesn't do all that much for me. So yeah. And wedges, as you know, are probably my least favorite pattern by far. Cool. Pew pew. There we go. What's going on over here, man? Caretaker is taking care. Fucking nice, baby. Fucking nice. All right, let's see. What else can I? Why not just let the brain 3-day label? What does that even mean? I don't even know. English, sir, or at least I can't understand that right now. No problem, Megan. No problem. Lol, woot, nice one. There you go. Jesus Christ, man, my comments are zooming by right now. I need to wait for it to repopulate itself. There we go. Hey, what's up, Greg? Okay, Krown, can you please check out Air New Zealand NZD weekly? What's the ticker? Or I'm just going to type that in and see what pops up here. Air New Space. Yeah, there we go. AIZ. Okay, that actually should have been rather obvious. Okay, nice one. Jesus Christ, man, the shitcoin shills are back, man. God damn. Okay, what time frame? What time frame given, sir? Was it? Where was it? Fuck, I can't see it now. Okay, weekly. Okay, weekly. Yeah. Wow, long. Jesus Christ, man, this one really did not have a good COVID time. Okay, technically speaking, you shouldn't be too damn bearish right here, and it is going to open up on a bounce, and I probably do think that it continues to bounce a little bit. I would not be long-term bullish on this though, but it can bounce up very easily to about 160, anywhere between about 155 and 160-ish region is fair game here. It looks like it's going to open up at, oh no, it's actually not open up on a bounce. It's open at 145. Did that just change? Where that was just saying 150. Maybe my eyes are deceiving me right now. Anyways, let's go down to a daily. I know you didn't ask for it, but yeah, it doesn't. I would not say that this is a bullish stock, but I do think that it will bounce off of here. Another pity bounce back up to like 150, maybe 155 is certainly fair game short term, and then I'd be looking for lower highs anywhere around 160, like maybe in the next week or so. Where's a continuation point to the downside? Not this current low over here, but this low over here, which would be your February lows at about 141, it looks like. Yeah, but 141 below there, things very likely fall apart again. I imagine you're probably going to hear some news about the Delta variant with coronavirus and all that good stuff. But I'd be looking for downtrend to continue if that were to happen. And this, make no mistake about it, this is still in a downtrend. Monthly is heavily bearish. I do think today probably does provide a little bit of a bounce, but do not confuse bounce with a reversal here. This thing is under a lot of pressure, and I despise charts that look like this long term, man. It is not fucking good. But can it play out a short term bounce here first? Maybe in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, no problem. Again, assuming that 15th of February lows are protected right there. Okay, for a little bit of a short term bounce. Okay, let's. Oh, love it, man. Fucking love it. All right, let's see. Hey, what's up, Johnny Button? Okay, hey, Krown. Just slept through most of this. All good, man. And you're still talking, man. It is true, man. I talk a little bit too much now, don't I? Can you check out the wheat CFD? I don't know the ticker for that, man. If you could provide the ticker, I will be happy to look at that. There it is. Silver weekly bullish divergence. I think last we looked at silver, we were looking for at the very least a bouncy bounce there. Let's go check it out really quickly. What is my silvers looking like? My little silver dollars. Yep, bouncy bounce, very likely happening. Do we have bullish divergence here? No. You can't really have bullish divergence in an uptrend. You can only have hidden bullish divergence, which we did have, which we already kind of had. But I'd generally be agreeing with that anyways. We did hit our downside target right at the 55. I'll be looking for a bounce at this level, regardless whether you're bullish or bearish, probably back up 25 3/4 or so. And I'd still be long-term bullish on this thing. As long as it's remaining with the uptrend, I'm not bearish on it, man. It's just fun. Wheat USD. Okay, got it. Yeah, I probably have the least experience in commodities. That's not a thing, sir. We just do wheat like this. Like wheat, maybe it's this. Maybe you're looking at this. Maybe you're looking at this. This would probably be the most pertinent one, I would guess. Bullish. You don't need me to tell you this is bullish, man. That is rather interesting, man. This thing's been mostly. Oh my god. This is really the first time since the 70s since this thing's like actually done something completely different. Reaccumulation right here. This one's very likely going up over the next couple of years here. I'll be looking for this one up north of 900 and probably trends after that. This is very good, very fucking good. Let's go to a quarterly. Oh yeah, man. I would not be surprised to see this thing north of 900 over the next year or two. Very good, very good, man. Hey, appreciate that, Mr. Woods, and good morning to you as well. Fly to the concerts, man. Classic British humor, man. The Brits have a very distinct form of humor, but it is quite good. I would say that. Quite good, sir. UT. Okay. Hold on. Hey, what's up, Michael Blast? Yeah. Okay, we got it. We got wheats. Good. Let's see. Okay, Chase Jonathan says, I was responding to Musk's inability to explain it looks like you just retracted your message. Can't even read it now. Okay, Kami Kim says, hey Krown, can we realistically expect algo to drop to 50 half a euro in the next 2 to 3 months? I mean, do we have to look at it versus a fucking euro? Like, it's already illiquid enough, man. I guess we can look at it a euro if you really want to see it. Okay, can we expect it to drop to 50 cents in the next 2 to 3 months? Dropped to 57 yesterday and 58 a month ago. I mean, it's obviously a downturn right here. It's going to depend on what the rest of the market does, but this thing is clearly relatively weak. And while I do think it's probably going to bounce with the rest of the market, short term, This thing can very easily bounce up to like 68 cents, maybe even up all the way to 70 cents short term. There's nothing bearish, or sorry, nothing bullish about a chart that's just freshly having a death cross after a nice consolidation right here. This would be my line in the sand for getting optimistic on it once again. You know, I know that hopium dealers are going to tell you what they're going to tell you. Oh, we're in a falling channel, or we're in a falling pizza. It's bullish. Look, I rarely see these things work out. Fucking rarely, man. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see this one continue up with a short-term move to the upside. Do I think it's reasonable to say that this one will come down to about 50 cents in the next couple of months? I don't know about timing on that. Let's see what the monthly looks like. I don't know if I'd say that just based off the monthly. The problem is, if this one wants to break down, it's not going to be 50 cents that you're looking at. It's going to be like, it's going to be 35 to 40 cents that you're looking at, to be fair. And that's a big move on a small dollar number. So how would I judge continuation on this? You know, we'd put it on this chart over here, actually. And I imagine it's probably either around or at the bottom side, trolling down on the daily. Yep. Yep, it's right there. If you do start to see closures below about 61.5 cents, then I'd start to look for this one to continue downtrend. But short term very likely does pop back up here. I don't think that this market's dying today. A little bit of a short term bounce for us. I mean, Mr. Bollinger would probably even call this a bit of a head fake down here too, which is typically I don't know about a reversal signal, but at least a bouncy bounce signal, which I would strongly agree with, actually. Okay, cool. What do we have? Hey, what's up, Rocky G? Fam, would you say possible bottom is in for A2M on ASXK? Ass to mouth. It's a great name for your stock. It's a fucking milk company too. Oh man, it's like the memes don't stop. Okay, is the bottom was possible bottom in? Okay, so when you're talking about bottoms, I'm gonna assume that you're talking at like no less than a daily, probably a weekly or monthly. Is the bottom in? No, I would not say so. I'd say this is probably the top of your bounce for right now, and this one comes back down. If this one is going to bottom out on a higher term time frame, I'd expect to see it come back down here over the next month or two, grind this area out, and then flip back around. I don't think it's happening anytime soon. Is kind of the long way of saying that. Yeah, I would not say that the bottom is in just yet. It's you still got a lot of work to do here. Looking at the monthly, nowhere near. If you're looking at short-term timeframes, absolutely yes. I mean, short-term timeframes, extremely short-term timeframes probably give you another try up to like 720 or so. But I'd be looking for this one to come back down, retest the lows, and this is gonna be very, very long and drawn out if it is gonna bottom out there. Quarterly is not a low, and by any stretch of the imagination. If anything, this thing has a lot lower to go, man. 250. Is where I'd be looking for long term, but there will be bounces along the way, of course. I don't think that this one's bottomed out. I think that you might get an extension of this upside move. You know, best I think it does to the upside is probably like 9.5, maybe $10, but not a big fan of this. Not a big fan of this chart. If I am going to start to look for bottoms here, I'd be looking for this one to range around the current low structure at about $5.5. Between there and where we're at right now for like maybe a year or two, man. It would take some time. It would take some time, but again, I don't know what time frame you're talking about there. Okay, all right. Let's see. Mr. Chase LeBlanc, all good, man. NNDM, yeah, we can look at that really quickly. No time frame given though, so I don't know where to go with this one. I'm gonna go to a daily and weekly. Looks like shit, man. It looks very bad on the weekly, but does it try for a bounce here first? Yes, I do think so. It's probably gonna bounce back up to like 7.5, 765 or so. Obviously I don't have any trend lines on this because I haven't tried this one before. I'm just looking for a range here for a bit. I'm not a big fan of this chart long term, obviously. I mean, looks like this for the love of God, but short term, and by short term I mean over the next couple of months here, I'll just be looking for it, kind of similar to Scott Carney's favorite pet rock. ALYI just going sideways here at best, and I do think that will happen above your prior highs from June. I'd probably extend targets up to like 11.5, but still I don't think this one's trending to the upside anytime soon. At best goes sideways in a big range. Don't show me safe moon, please. Okay, no problem. No problem, man. Toxic Trader says, seriously, man, more than 2 indicators are a wastage of trading. Actually, you can use as many as you want. And I would actually agree with you. But, you know, you have to understand when I'm doing these videos when I'm doing these streams on YouTube, you know, people asking for a multitude of different stuff. And the same 2 indicators that I use in my trading, which is actually, I use about 3 indicators for the most part. And sometimes we will use a little bit less. But they're not going to account for what everyone else wants to look like. Perhaps you should expand your mind and understand that other people are probably very, very likely have different trading styles in use. So would it be pertinent to use the same two indicators for everyone? No, fucking obviously not, man. So that's why I do keep a plethora of different indicators on here for these streams for that specific purpose, just because, you know, some people are looking for big trend trades. Some people are looking for short-term scalps. Some people don't even know what the fuck they're looking for, you know, so you kind of have to backwards engineer it. But yeah, man, perhaps considering that would be a good idea before just, you know, making a very uneducated comment. Sorry, can't help myself right now, man. Bradley Heller says, Ethereum mining stock SOS, looking at weekly or monthly timeframes. Okay, let's go check it out. SOS, you're looking at weekly and monthly. Wow, this chart almost looks the exact same. This one a little bit more weak though, as it already has broken the lows of that prior little consolidation range. This one looking like it wants to continue with the downside trend here. Monthly is an absolute fucking shambles, man. I'd be looking for this one to go for the full retrace down to like 150, 160 over the next, 4 to 6 months or so. Let's see what the quarterly looks like. Yeah, not good. Not fucking good, man. Let's put on log scale so that we can make some sense of it. Yeah, not a fan of this chart, man, at all. Anyways, you left a bigger message with that. Let's see. Okay, your message is looking at weekly or monthly timeframes, invested $25,000, now worth $12,000. Okay. Recommend I sell the 12,000, eat the 13,000, invest remaining 12,000 to Ethereum or Bitcoin. Why do you always have to be in something? That would be my question to you. Okay, we're making a lot of assumptions here. All right, so first off, the problem with these sorts of questions is like, I didn't get you into the position in the first place, so I don't know what the hell you were like basing it off of. Did you just buy because girthy green dildo right here? If so, well, you already know that that's like not the right way to do it. I think price action has already told you that. My point is, I don't know why you got into the trade to begin with, so I don't know what it was based off of, so I don't know how to manage it properly. If you're asking me if I think that this thing is like not going back above $6 anytime soon, which is probably around your entry if I had to guess, or maybe more so about like 5.5 or so. I don't think it's happening anytime soon, man. No, I think that this one continues with the long-term downtrend. There will be bounces along the way, so maybe you get at a slightly better price. In fact, short term probably does. Anywhere around $3, I think would be fair game, you know. But long term, I certainly do not like it, and I think this one very likely does come lower long term after a short term bounce here. So, would I then just take that money and put it in Ethereum or Bitcoin? I don't know your investment horizons, man. I'm not an investor myself, so I'm really not the best person to ask about like long term investments. If you believe in the asset and this this seems like a good price for you, and maybe that's a good thing to be thinking. Maybe there are a multitude of other things that are actually moving right now too that you might want to consider opportunity cost if you are going to invest in them in a more short-term fashion. I can't answer these questions for you because I just don't know. And still, even if I could, I don't know. I'm not the best person to ask for like investment advice. Not that this is investment advice anyways, but I'm not an investor. I've never been an investor. I've only been a trader. So. Would I do that? Probably not, man. Probably not. If I'm looking at higher term time frame charts for any of these things right now, I don't think that there's any rush to get in a position, man. I've made my thoughts pretty clear on Bitcoin when I'm looking for a low or what I'm looking for a low. Perhaps you're new here and you just haven't seen the video. In that case, I would suggest that you go check out a video that I uploaded about a week or two ago on the weekend. It's in the long-term analysis playlist. It's titled some like the 3 biggest things I'd be looking for on a Bitcoin macro low. And at that point, if I saw those 3 things, yes, then I'd feel rather confident investing for the long term, as 10 out of 11 times it's going to be a macro low and never go lower than that. At least that's what we've seen in the past. Okay, cool. I think China stopped taking their milk or something. Those damn Chinese milkers, bastards. But yeah, man, that stock is very aptly named, by the way. SOS stock. Chart is a fucking SOS there too, man. Not fucking good. So yeah, man. Sorry, I can't really sell you any hopium on that one. And look, man, like, if you're going to be an investor, right? Do you invest when something's in a downtrend? I would assume no. I mean, it would take a bit of patience, but like, if you want to be an investor, I would assume that you're looking like you're probably going to be a little more patient. You probably have like a longer term time horizon than someone like me. I would assume like 3 years minimum, probably more around like 5 to 10 years if I had to guess. So do you invest in a daily downtrend? Probably not. Do you invest in a weekly downtrend? Probably not. You probably wait for at the very least a high or low at best, and then maybe you nibble a little bit. I mean, and also just like this all or nothing proposition of like, do I just throw all 12,000 into it? It's like, well, look, man, like think about it this way: if you go to fucking Vegas, right, and you take a big loss on whatever fucking gamble that you just made, do you go over to the next gambling table and say, okay, I need to put it back in, like, you don't need to do that, man. Wait for the good opportunity, and that might mean you don't get like the best entry possible. Okay, well, you don't need to get the best entry possible. You need to fucking, get on the right side of the goddamn trend if you are going to be long term. That would be my sort of thought process on that. They fired me at McDonald's for fixing the ice cream machine. Those bastards, they're gonna regret that when you're rich as fuck off those nano coins, sir. Okay, so you've provided a little more insight into what you're looking for. Long term, 5 years hold, bought it on the uptrend on the daily for SOS. Well, if you're trading 5 years down the road, if you're investing for 5 years down the road, you don't want to be looking at a daily. You want to be looking at like a monthly or maybe even a quarterly in those cases, because those are going to be the time frames that are going to be most relevant to that long of a time frame horizon. A daily, I mean, how many fucking dailies are there within 5 years of history? I mean, I can't even do the math, man. It's like 5 times 350, right? I don't know. It's too much to think about. My point is that you'd be better off buying into a monthly uptrend if that's going to be the case, rather than a daily, or at the very goddamn least a weekly. So I would say maybe that's something worth considering, because a daily is just not gonna. You can see so many different daily trends within 5 years. Obviously, a weekly or a monthly specifically are going to be a little bit more relatable, in my opinion. 350 days a year. There we go, man. It's a new circle around the sun, man. Evo Tesseract says, could you check out the weekly on Bitcoin? Could you look at a double bottom reversal in January? We just got to bounce off the same spot. I've never really been a big fan of double bottoms, and no, this would not be a double bottom. Your double bottom would have been over here when you came back down and tested these wick lows for the first time. You're talking about this area right here and this area right here. Coming back once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and the bounces get weaker every time is not going to be your double bottom. So no, and realistically, people, I think, massively misinterpret double bottoms and double tops, or triple bottoms and triple tops, or for that matter. When you're talking about double bottoms for trading, very rarely do you see reversal around those regions. You will see typically a tradable bounce. That's a very high probability of happening. But a reversal is, I just don't see them work out all that often over time. I mean, it's like, do you get 2 chances to buy the lows? I mean, show me on the chart where you've gotten 2 chances to buy the lows ever in Bitcoin's history. You'd probably point out this area over here and say, fuck you, Krown, we did. And then I'd say, okay, well, let's actually see how low that wick was below everything else. That's about 30%. So I'd say no. This one over here would probably be the best, argument for it. But even that, I mean, even this was like what, about 10% lower actually. So no, I don't think so. I do think that it's obviously like a bounce area, which we've gotten. I mean, these are some pretty phenomenal trade and very tradable bounces. I mean, we're talking about a 40% move off the lows right there. Very, very nice, absolutely. But as you can see, the bounces have been getting worse, weaker and weaker, which is not the best sign. Benjamin Lang says, dear Krown, TikTok and analyst here. Nice. Bitcoin to 100,000 tomorrow. I'm in. I'm spending it right now. Fuck yeah, man. There we go. We're going to be rich, man. We're going to be buying islands. I just invested my last $10,000. Hey, what's up, Gordy boy? There he is. Looking good. Sounding good. Fuck yeah, man. I got Gordy's approval. This is good. This is good. This is a good day. Another OG of the cave. Man, I love seeing the OGs of the cave still here. That is truly lovely. Okay, Jenny C. Elsa is an OG of the cave, actually. She used to have the titty shirt too with Krown's Crypto Cave. It's great. You still have that? You do? Oh man, we gotta wear that more. Okay, Jenny C. has the best comment so far. 85,000 by the end of next month. Hop on the train now or regret for the next 4 years. Do you promise? I always love it when people say something like that. It's like, buy now or cry later. Do you promise though? Like, will you give me a refund if you're wrong? It would be naive of me to say that that's impossible to happen. I'd say it's very unlikely though. What in these charts tells you that this thing is going to $85,000? That'd be my question to you. I can't say that I'd agree on face value there. I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but yeah, as long as you're in a weekly downtrend, it's not my first target. That's for sure. I need some goddamn refunds on that one, man. in these times, flip your screens upside down. That's what Jenny C's doing. She's doing this old action right there. Oh, Jenny, you are oh so right. This thing's bullish AF. We're going to wait. What the fuck? $17,000. This is some bullshit scam. I'm out. Refund, please. Jenny C, I want my damn refunds. You promised $85,000, and I got wrecked as fuck. Watch her be right, and then I just eat my words there. Look, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'd say it's very unlikely. I found the $85,000 chart. My wife be named Jenny. Dump it. Just kidding, man. Just having a little bit of fun, Jenny C. I don't know if you're still here. More like midlife crisis hair. Well, fair enough, man. As long as I can keep this bullshit hair, that's all that I need, man. Wesley Caldwell says Bitcoin to 1 billion with a B before the end of the stream. I'm in. 1 billion bolivars. Maybe that's what Jenny's looking at too. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, Bitcoin probably does hit $85,000 at on some time length, but I don't know in the next. Why does it have to be in the next at the end of next month? I would feel very confident saying Bitcoin does not hit $85,000 by end of August. Could be wrong, of course, but that'd probably be one of the biggest single month increases. Actually, we'd be seeing an increase about $30,000. Where's 85 right there? That'd be a 226% increase. Have we ever seen a 226% increase in Bitcoin's history? This one looks pretty good, big right here. No, that's 100%. Oh, maybe this one. Hold on. This one's pretty good. Hey, this one's actually way more. Fair enough. Maybe it happens. It's possible, I guess. Not very probable, but possible. She has insider information. It's Kathy Woods. It's her. Get her. I'm an OG from the real. Oh, holy shit, Jake! Holy fuck, man! Is real crypto still rocking and rolling? I really like that guy. He was very reasonable, very reasonable. Yeah, man, fun times, man. Definitely fun times. Holy shit! Can we look at the Venezuelan stock market? We could. I just don't know their tickers. So if you could pass me a ticker, I'm happy to look at it. Can't tell you if I've ever looked at it myself though. Weekly Bitcoin hidden bullish divergence from September 2020. Okay, September 2020, that would be way back on over here. Do we have weekly hidden bullish divergence? The problem is we can't have weekly hidden bullish divergence any longer. Hidden divergences can only, this is a hard rule, by the way, in case if you ever want to fact check someone. And I'm not saying this to fucking shit on your hopes and dreams, man, but hidden divergences can only ever happen in the same direction as a trend. By contrast, regular divergences can only ever happen in the opposite direction as a trend. In this case right here, we have a downtrend on the weekly by taking out the last prior week's low. So we can't have, we quite literally cannot have hidden bullish divergence. Over here is possible, and we actually saw several drives over here, and that actually did get some nice bounces along the way, but not over here. No, I'd have to say that's, if you run with that assumption long term, it's just not going to be correct. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, bring back Nem block. Holy shit, man. You remember Nem blockchain. Do you remember Nem blockchain? Yes. Oh my God. Else remembers him too. Fucking goddamn, man. That guy was, I wonder where he's at right now. Is Derek here right now? Derek definitely remembers him. Holy shit. That guy was something else. That guy was something. That was back when I was saying that 6,000 would break for Bitcoin in 2018. Man, what the fuck? Holy. Yeah, he did make the Altcoin. Yeah, that's right. He made the Altcoin. That's right. Let's see. Reply soon says, I was trading Litecoin with $2,000 and made about 70 per hour, but I got in a trap when it hit 209. 70 per hour, man. That is an interesting way of thinking about trading. I've never heard someone talk about their P&L in terms of profit per hour. Interesting, just first time for me. But I got in a trap when it hit 209, and I'm still stuck with it at the current price. It seems like that's gonna fuck around with your P&L per hour, sir. Let's see, where is Litecoin trading now? About 50% less, man. Okay, so I'd like to talk about this for a second here. Again, not to kick you when you're down, but you're never trapped in a trade. So you basically bought the tip right here on the weekly before the next mega downside move. You're never trapped in a trade, man. You always have some control over it. You can always get out. Now here's the thing. Litecoin is looking more close to like a bigger bounce than not, but goddamn, man, like you don't need to hold that next time. I do think this one will come lower before it's all said and done too. But I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing a little bit below $90 actually. But you don't have to stay in these things, man. You don't have to stay in these things. Like have some sort of criteria for for your risk management. Like this is one of the things that I see a lot where people will like. Look, I'm not picking on you. Like I want to be very, very clear about that. I don't want to pick on you. I just want to say this because I've done this myself in the past. Like if you don't have a fucking strategy with all the different variations of what can possibly happen to your positions documented, I'm talking about risk management, position management, and entry at the very goddamn least, you can expect that your P&L is just naturally going to go to zero over a long enough period of time. It doesn't matter what your P&L per hour was beforehand because your real P&L is zero, or now it's minus 50% or whatever the fuck it was. My point is, man, is that look, if you're going to do that again, or if you're going to do anything again, you need to have a fucking strategy, man. That's no strategy. I don't care what your fucking $50 or $70 per hour was. It means nothing. Your real P&L now is minus 50%. It's all gone. It's all fucking gone. You have no strategy, and it's very likely to go lower over time. It's probably going to bounce here a little bit, but are you going to get back up to $200? Are you going to see a 100% move from here? Extremely unlikely. And my point is like, look, man, even if you were to see that move from here and you like somehow by God's grace got out at break even in the next week, I don't think it's going to happen, but even if you did, it's just going to be a matter of time before you make the same mistake. Like you have to have some criteria that lets you know, hey, this trade's dog shit. Maybe I shouldn't be in it. So I'm assuming that you bought like right on over here. What would be an example of something that you could have done? Well, you could have seen that, oh, well, we just put in a lower high right here. Maybe it's time not to be holding long positions any longer because the daily trend's against you. And, it's kind of weird that like I used to not really care about trend, but now it's like everything is trend to me. Everything is trend to me. And I honestly think if you just want the easiest way to learn how to trade, learn fucking trends, man. It's not going to be anything glamorous. You're not going to be like the fucking star trader of all time, but you're going to be profitable most likely. And almost everything can be deduced to trends anyways. Not everything, but most everything can be deduced to trends. Just simplify, man. In this case right here, I mean, you get your first you get your first high right here, low right here, lower high right here, lower low right here. You can't be holding fucking scalps. I don't know if you've been trading the daily at that point anyways, but let's say you're trading the hourly. I mean, that's going to get you out a lot sooner, obviously, too. Okay, let's say you bought $200 right here. Okay, what's going to be your criteria for getting out? I could just make it super easy again. Trend. How about that? Well, you're already fucked by here, man. It's not popping back up there, man. So, to me, that's no strategy. It's not even worth talking about your P&L because your real P&L is zero. Like I've seen this many, many times, man. With some very smart people too, who will, espouse like, I have a 99% win rate because of XYZ strategies. Like, great. But the person has no risk management because they think that it's infallible. It's like, well, it's not. And it's just a matter of time before a 10 Sigma event comes along and fucks you in the ass. And for what it's worth, and again, I'm not trying to pick on you here, but, that wasn't even a fucking outlier event that you saw right there. You just decided, I'm praying the Bula Jesus and, take the wheel, Bula Jesus. Please help, sir. Now, I see that shit all the time, and it's like it's like even worse with very smart people too, because they feel like they don't need to manage risk. Like Jesus Christ, man, like that is just wasted money. I mean, I remember this one guy who would always talk about his P&L. He would always brag about his P&L, but his real P&L, because he didn't know how to manage risk, was zero, and he blew multiple accounts. Like it's just a waste. It's just a fucking waste. I wanted to shake him and be like, look, man, you could be making a shit ton of fucking money if you just fucking have one really simple tip right here, man. Jesus Christ. Doesn't even need to be all that crazy. Wednesday and Thursday, big moves on Bitcoin, right? Yeah, statistically speaking, yes. Hey, Krown, can you look at dollar versus Turkish lira? Is that right? Yeah, it is. It is the Turkish lira. Ooh, Learning my forks is actually looking good here for a reversal. We get a higher low in place. Looks like it popped above the prior range. I like it. I'd be looking for this one to pop back up somewhere around about 860, 863 or so. Daily, I'm not a humongous fan of, but it is still within an uptrend, and it probably does carry on with the bounce a little bit more. So I don't know what time frames you're looking at there, but I'd be looking for a bounce continuation generally. Rocky G says, man, I still remember stumbling across your channel over 3 years ago with 50 viewers while I was liquidating my accounts. Time's gone quick. You're goddamn right, man. Time's gone quick. It's insane. Like, this is now, if I don't do a stream, if I don't make a video, I feel like I haven't brushed my teeth. It's like my day hasn't been right. It is pretty damn cool too, man, because like for the people who were especially active in the chat box from back around those times, I remember everyone, man. I remember fucking everyone, and I'm like surprised because I typically don't have a good memory, but you know, we've gone through a ton of shit together. Like, look, man, in 3 fucking years, we've seen all of this. Like, that's a lifetime in traditional markets, man. Very good experience in a very short amount of time, all things considered. Don't be fooled. Litecoin will bounce back up and be bullish again. It always reaches a high and crashes back down. All right, man. It looks like you just well, you have your own ideas, man. All right, that's fair enough. Okay, well, 70 bucks per hour, and then hold it for a couple months. All right, to each their own, man. To each their own. This is like replacements for the Good Morning Crypto on Avan on Tech. He stopped doing it, and it was years now. I have a new family. Hey, well, welcome to the family, sir. Yeah, man. Avan on Tech show a little bit different, but actually, he's going to show a little bit frequently. Avan on Tech, another good guy behind the scenes. Another pretty damn good guy behind the scenes. But now I think he's done something really cool though. He's gone off and he stopped with like the clickbait, you know, hopium type shit, and he's talking about stuff that's like helping people with programming and whatnot. And sure, maybe it doesn't generate as much views, and it's not as interesting to the average you know, speculator. But you know, I think he's doing a lot of really good stuff now, like a lot of really good stuff. Pretty damn cool. Okay, Michael Saskin says, can you explain why closing the daily today outside the lower band in this case may not result in continuation? I thought closing above or below Bollinger Band shows hard trending move. Yes. Okay, so you're talking about yesterday's closure where that did happen. So what about today is indicating that is potentially not going to happen? Okay, a couple things here. First and foremost, volume on the breakdown. This is nothing special right here. You want to see volume, you know, come back up and kind of take out like the last sort of pivot on price action, which would be over here. You want to see something like that. Doesn't need to happen the same day, but at least within the next 3 days, and preferably 2 days. I mean, you want to see continuation relatively fast. On top of that, we also don't really see volatility like really getting up there just yet. It's only at about 20 percentile, which is nothing special. Above 50 percentile, we have something, you know, of particular interest. Above 25, you have, you know, a little bit of a cautionary light. But right now, it's just, we're not seeing what you would expect to see on like a big momentous move to the downside. It's looking to me like bounce first and then decide later. So yeah, that would be kind of your defense against such things. Just two very easy ways of kind of judging that one. There's also kind of an event going on right here too. Phil's in the OG gang. Yes, indeed he is. Venus coin. Venus coin. I see. Venus coin. Hey, thanks for that, Kamal. Please, XRP short term. We can look at XRP, I guess. 54.5 cent. Definitely a laggard right now. Definitely relatively weak compared to the rest of the market, but Bitcoin bounces up here. This one will be dragged up as well, just not as much. I really don't like the higher term timeframes on this chart, man. Very fucking bad. Very bad. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing down around like 42 cents before it's all said and done, but that can take some time. Short term more or less bounces first, and I think that you were specifically looking at short term. I'd be looking for short term back up around about 56, maybe a little bit north of 56 cents or so. If things really want to get crazy, I'd be looking at about 58 cents, but 56 cents I think rather likely. Let's see, how deep into the stream are we? We're about 2 hours into this one. Yeah, Million Token has a great community. Yeah, another Mimi token. We can't look at Million Token on TradingView. We need more people to buy LTC. Well, if you keep on shilling it and giving them hopium, you will definitely convince them to do such things. You just probably need someone with like, you know, $1 billion to do that. Buy it now while it's just cheap. Buy it now while it's cheap. But sir, what if it gets cheaper? What if it gets cheaper? What then? Hey, all good Crypto Garden. Appreciate that, my friend. Is Million Token on Binance yet? I don't believe that it is. I think it's still trading on whatever nonsense exchange that exists in. Okay, we'll do the last one for Jev. Interesting comment about a lifetime. In the last 3 years, rather than comparing 4 hour in Bitcoin to 1 hour traditional, I consider looking at a 4 hour like a daily or something like that. I would say so on the run up because things were just moving every day like so goddamn much, man. Is it in this area right here? No, I'd say no, but certainly in this area over here, yeah, man. I mean, you're getting just extreme moves every day almost, it seemed like. But yeah, man, these sorts of things would take, maybe probably about 2 decades in traditional markets to kind of go through at least one cycle. So you get that education in Bitcoin land in 3 years. I mean, that's insane. I mean, maybe even a little bit less than that. Anyone who is not buying Litecoin right now belongs in a mental hospital. Shit, man. All right, well, that's my cue, my friends. That's my cue. I need to go check into the mental hospital. Let's wrap up this damn stream and send it off. I need to go. There's stat. Short-term Bitcoin continues with the bounce. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing bounce back up to 31.5. However, we do have a bit of an event today. Be cautious of that. A lot of the time, these events are kind of going to get sold into. But perhaps if there is some sort of like a fundamental drive or some big announcement during it, and when I say big announcement, I mean like Twitter adopts Bitcoin or whatever the fuck, or Jack Dorsey's going to invest another like 10 billion in Bitcoin, whatever the fuck it is. It needs to be something of significance, that really changes the groundwork of this. Then yes, we perhaps could see a bit of continuation from there. If we do see a daily closure above 31.5, I would extend bounce targets significantly, actually, in this case. Let's see, wherever the top side of the Gaussian channel is, or sorry, the bottom side, it's about 33.3 with potential for more up to about 35 or so. So that'd be kind of my criteria for that. For short-term downside, however, there is a very obvious continuation point for this as well, and that'll just be below our little short-term consolidation right here, and not even go as far as saying that if you do start cracking back down below even 30,000 bucks, that's going to be problematic. So short-term, a little bit of upside continuation. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin somewhere right around 31.5. I want to see daily closures though. If we do close the daily above 31, or especially 31,500, that's going to look pretty damn good for a move up. Another 1,500 or so. And then we could probably play out the range a little bit more and keep the Bulaw's hopes alive for a little bit longer. By the same token, for Barras, I just need to see back below about 30,000 bucks, and I'd be willing to say that this one's gonna dump out to 27,000 bucks after that. But for right now, trap situation that we spoke about over the past 2 to 3 days now is looking is looking very pertinent. So that's my cue. I'm off to the mental hospital now. Enjoy the outro tunes. Take care and much love, everyone.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, XR, pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate.